What is going on, people? My name is Frank, aka The True Gunner, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Cannon Talks podcast. I am joined by my co-host Yash Mahatma, aka the Tactical Pundit. Man, like Yash, the Tactical Pundit, you know.
Let's get it.
Listen, Yash, obviously there's a reason behind that name. Let us know, man.
So I'm heavily invested in looking at the tactical side of the game. I find it really interesting, and I've sort of discovered it as a talent when I was 17 years old. Had a few good experiences with BBC and Sky, so I thought, you know what, I want to make it as a pundit. This is a way to do it.
All right, cool, man. Obviously, he's got a YouTube channel that's just come out. The link will be in the bio. The description. I'm used to saying stuff about the Instagram. But yeah, link will be in the description. Make sure to go and check that out and subscribe. Turn on post notifications, all of that good stuff. But Yash, how are you doing in general, man?
I'm doing good. Lockdown's easing up. So,
Yes.
you know, meeting with other people from outside 2 meters apart is better. Get a few things going on. Hopefully soon the work income will start coming in as well, because I need to get a few shifts on.
Yeah, man.
But
We need to get that money. Need to get that money.
Exactly.
As you can
A little
see,
bit that dollar.
I'm surviving a little bit more now. You know, Dad hooked me up.
The hairline. It's made
I got
recovery.
a Father's Day present from my dad, which is interesting, and that was a shape up. It'll do, if you get what I mean. It's not professional, but it will do. It saved me from wearing hats for another 4 weeks on the podcast. But yes, we've got a lot to get through today, and we're going to start off with the obvious. The big question is, what is going on with Arsenal right now? We're not in a good situation. Obviously, we've lost our first 2 league games. Obviously, after return of the Premier League, one being 3-0 to Man City, and then the second one being that heartbreak of a game against Brighton. We haven't even looked good since we've come back. We've not played fantastic football. I know we played a little bit in that Man City game until obviously David Luiz happened. But my question is, what do you think this is down to, man?
I think it starts from the top, as does everything, and I'll explain how it relates to the rest of below, but right at the top, the first thing we see is expenditure. Now, if we was to go back to the City game, David Luiz didn't have the greatest of performances. Marie got injured. Granit Xhaka got injured. So immediately when we put players on, we didn't have the best of replacements. So first of all, it's a squad. And then if you have a look at sort of the unlucky stoppages in play, we were doing great before lockdown started. Come back, we've lost our first 2 games on the trot. Arteta has even come out and said the players weren't up for it. We should have won the game. And to be fair, I think that's something that's been missing. We need someone in the team, and it's great that it's the manager who's going to grab them by the scruff of their necks and say, if you haven't been up to it, I'm going to call you out on it because you need to improve. And we haven't had those figures in the dressing room as of late.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I do like about Mikel Arteta in particular. He is that guy that will pull you up on your mistakes, and I think it will come across in a way where it's not out and out criticism. It's constructive criticism, if you get what I mean.
Exactly.
And because he's a former player of the club, players will appreciate it more from someone like Mikel Arteta. But like you said just a second ago, we've suffered from 3 serious injuries. Obviously, Granit Xhaka is going to be out for a few weeks. Pablo Mari is going to be out till November. And it looks likely that we're not even going to be seeing Bernd Leno for another whole year in between the sticks. Now, that's painful. That has obviously affected our squad size. On top of that, not everyone has been fit. We've been missing the likes of Lucas Torreira and Socrates since we've come back. So squad depth, not even squad depth, because I think we've got a lot of players within the squad, but the available squad right now is very thin. And I think that's one of the main factors of our bad form.
Exactly. That's definitely a point of factor. So not only does it go from expenditure, then it leads to the squad. And so, like, if we think about Lucas Torreira, he's a key player in the squad. Granit Xhaka, key presence in the midfield, command in the midfield, losing an aggressive centre-back like Pablo Mari. And if we think as to how meticulous Arteta was with that signing, he gets it from Pep. He wanted a specific left-footed centre-back. He's gone. He's injured. So 3 key players, injured already, 8 games to go in the Prem. It's a very difficult situation. And then you think about the rest of the dressing room. What's going on with contract situations? Aubameyang, Lacazette, and let's not forget, we saw how versatile Bukayo Saka can be. His contract situation is going to be really important to the Gunners.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, man. But guys, down in the comments, let us know. What do you guys think is going on at Arsenal? Is it because of the injuries? Or are we just not good enough as a club? Or is it both? It's down to you. Let us know down in the comments. But we're going to move on swiftly. Our next game Southampton versus Arsenal away at St Mary's Stadium now. Both teams playing their last game. Obviously, Southampton beat Norwich 3-0 away from home, which is a fantastic result for Southampton. And obviously, we've spoken about Brighton versus Arsenal already. 2-1 to Brighton. The less said about that, the better. But my question to you, Yash, is what do Arsenal need to do here to get the 3 points? Because we should be getting 3 points against a team like Southampton. But then I said the same thing about Brighton, and it's not happened. So what do you think we need to do to get the 3 points?
First of all, I think we just need to be confident in our play. I think something Arsenal really need to start bringing about themselves is that swagger. You know, when you look at Liverpool and City, they go into games and it looks like when they step out on that pitch, they just know we're going to get the win. You know, what are you going to do to hurt us? And Arsenal need that confidence in them. Now, Southampton have got good players. You know, Redmond was on fire the other day. He got a goal. They've got good players in midfield, Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse.
Danny Ings.
So, need to keep the attack on, stop those guys from playing, be tight on counters, but keep pinning their goal because we can break them. They've been a bogus team for us in the past, but we're not going to be able to do anything if we don't create clear-cut chances.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, man. And one thing that I want to talk about in particular is our counter-attack. Yes, it hasn't worked fantastic. I mean, it hasn't led to that many goals, but you saw against Man City specifically that the counter-attack, we was able to get at the defence. We just wasn't able to put the chances away. So if we use that counter-attack well against Southampton, they're not defensively better than Man City. They've not got a better goalkeeper than Man City. It's just about us finishing our chances and we'll win the game. But one thing I do need to say, though, it is crucial against a team like Southampton because it's been seen in the past. Southampton have beat us a couple of times over the years that they've been up in the Premier League. They are one of our bogey teams. And what happens when we concede a goal is our heads drop. So we need to be able to get a comfortable lead before we can I don't even want to say before we can drop the ball. We know we can't drop the ball, but I think it's important that we do have that lead just in case anything does happen.
No, definitely. I think that's the key factor there. And I think Arsenal seem to take their foot off the gas after they get the first goal. You know, there's not that urgency. It'd be great if Arteta was saying to them something like, right, guys, I know it's just kickoff, but let's go in there as if we're 3-0 down. I want a 3-goal lead, so even if they do get a goal, got a 2-goal cushion. But don't let off the gas. Keep the ball, you know. And how crazy is this now? Southampton, 14th place, 37 points. If they beat us, and well, after the Brighton game, who knows what's going to happen? They're going to be level on points with us in 10th. And if United win, we're now 9 points off a Champions League spot.
It really doesn't look good, man. But I'm not going to talk too much about the game. Reason being that we're going to have a preview coming out on Cannon Talks in the next by tomorrow even. By the time you're seeing this, the preview will be out roughly around the same time tomorrow. So make sure to check that out. I'm going to be talking about the game a little bit more in depth on my opinions, but I'll give you guys at least a score prediction. I'm going to start off. I'm going to go Arsenal 2, Southampton 1. Yash, what do you think for a score prediction, man?
I think 3-1. I think Arsenal will have listened to Arteta's words, get a couple more goals in there.
Okay, fair enough, man. No worries. Obviously, make sure to check out for that preview as well. We're going to move on swiftly again, and we're sort of backtracking ourselves because we're talking about the next game, but we've got to come back to the last game for this next topic. Now, it's a very unfortunate situation. Obviously, our first choice goalkeeper, Bernd Leno, suffered a massive injury in that game. I think it's about 3 days after the game. We've still had no confirmed reports on what the injury is, which has not helped whatsoever. But from the way it looked, you know, I got a sports degree. I know what I'm talking about. It looks like either a torn or a ruptured ACL. Now, that can mean anything between 6 months to a whole year out of action. And Mikel Arteta has come out and said it doesn't look good. So from what it sounds like, it looks like it's going to be closer to that 12-month period without our first choice goalkeeper. Now, that is not a good situation. And I know you specifically really do rate Emiliano Martinez in between the sticks. But me personally, I don't think he's the kind of goalkeeper that we're going to be able to rely on for that long of a period of time.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do think of him highly, but there's a reason why Leno started ahead of him. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on the young Argentinian. Now, personally for me, he's a great shot stopper. I remember the game against Frankfurt away, great in between the sticks, you know, really good with his distribution. And if we just think about Leno's injury, it's devastating. We've already got so many problems in defence. Now to lose the guy who's been sorting out all those issues thus far,
yeah, man.
I think you made a great replacement in your last video, which you haven't seen, by the way.
Mm.
Go check it out. Frank's replacement for Leno, Onana. That's a brilliant idea. Expensive idea, but not too expensive.
But
if
listen,
we are going to get those monies in. Come on.
I understand what you mean by that, and I do think it would be the perfect signing. But the problem that we've got now is, of course, we're going to have to sign another goalkeeper, because even if Emiliano Martinez does stay as our first choice goalkeeper for the year, Matt Macy's not the best ability-wise, and I don't think I'd even trust him in the cup games as a backup goalkeeper. Admittedly, he can do all right. I think it was that game where Eddie Nketiah burst onto the scene against Norwich, where he made a few good saves in that. Like, he has potential. 24 now, when he's not really broke into the squad, so it doesn't look good in terms of what's happening with Matt Macey. But regardless of if Emmy stays, we're going to have to sign a goalkeeper no matter what, for me. The problem that I have is that we should be looking at the likes of Andre Onana. But the most recent news is that we have been linked with Joe Hart on a free transfer. Right, if you would have said this to me 6 years ago, I would have been happy. But this is a Joe Hart that Pep Guardiola immediately isolated and kicked out of that Man City team, sent him on 3 loan spells, and is now struggling to get into the team at Burnley. This is the kind of players that Arsenal Football Club have been linked with.
Exactly. It's become have you seen the jokes where retirement home for old players now? I mean, 33 years old, first team keeper. Really, look, Joe Hart, no disrespect to him, incredible keeper. The thing that changed, and it's unfortunate to him, is the game changed. It became a more passing-based game, and Joe Hart went on loan out to Italy, I think, came back and got sold to Burnley, played second fiddle to Nick Pope all season. He's not the best of shot stoppers anymore, not great with his feet. I don't see how he's going to fit into this Arsenal team. It's almost like we need someone with experience. Let's go get the cheapest option out there.
No, I understand.
It's too much of a bad mentality. The same with centre-backs. David Luiz, same mentality.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, man. And that's what I said in the video about Onana. The board needs to realise that we're not going to be able to upgrade and improve on our current results and positions if we are not going to spend the money. For me, and it's all good me saying it, but it's just about the board acting on what the Arsenal fans are saying it. They need to spend big this summer. We need to go and spend £50 million on a goalkeeper. A defender, sorry. We need to spend probably what is going to be up to around £40 million on Onana. Someone like Onana, even if we can't get Onana, it's understandable because we're not in a good position when it comes to the league and getting Europe. And we're not the same Arsenal that we used to be, if you get what I mean. So it's not as attractive of a club. But the solution to that is you just have to make the deal financially suitable for the player. If Onana wants 150 grand a week, you give him 150 grand a week because we've got no better options. The only other one I can think of, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, remember we had that Italian goalkeeper for like a year on loan. His name was like Emiliano Viviano, I think it was. He'd done absolutely nothing in the squad. He's currently available on a free transfer to sign now. This is the kind of people we are looking at for goalkeepers if we are not going to sign a big goalkeeper, and it's not looking good. The thing is, if you want to play Emiliano Martinez for the next year's first choice goalkeeper, go ahead. These Joe Hart and Viviano would be decent backups. But my reasoning is, I still don't think Emiliano Martinez is a good enough standard to play regularly for us in the Premier League. So we need to be looking at goalkeepers better than him, and that's what I say. That's what I mean, man. We just need to upgrade.
Just before you said that, it clicked. I think the sort of links that we're getting, it does sound like it's because Martinez would be the first choice goalkeeper and these guys would be underneath him, helping him. But I'm going to throw a couple names out there. First one, we know he loves the club. We've loved him since he's left the club too. Wojciech Szczesny.
See, right.
32 million on transfer market, same as Onana. He's got 9 clean sheets in 20 games. What do you think?
Right. So I have a few counter questions. I think just a counter question here. He is currently number 1 at Juventus. Why on earth would he want to come back to Arsenal? He's been a good goal. We've missed him since he's left, absolutely, because we've seen how well he played for Roma and Juventus in his two clubs in Italy. But when he was at the club, he was problems. He was caught smoking in the changing rooms. We don't need that negativity at the club. And I'm not saying it's the same Wojciech Szczesny. For all we know, he could have changed. I think he went on the Arsenal podcast and said he learned a lot from that experience as a man.
Yeah.
So this, depending on whether he'd want to come back to the club, I think it would be a great signing. But I just don't think he's going to want to come back to Arsenal when he's number one at Juventus.
True, very true. I think the only reason he come back is like for Arsenal just to help out. But exactly, the dollar bills, that's what speaks. Other one though, and I think it could be a very interesting deal. Now, I'm not too sure when his loan deal expires. I think it's this season. But Dean Henderson, Sheffield United, great time this season. Is it 11 clean sheets or something like that? He's got really good with his feet, excellent shot stopper. I was watching him in the last game, done absolutely superb. For a year to challenge Martinez, why not get a 1-year loan deal with him?
Again, that is a goalkeeper that I would definitely be interested in. But there's 2 points to this argument. First of all, he is a United player, so I don't know what the deal is with bringing Arsenal the deal. I keep stumbling over my words, but transfers between Arsenal and United haven't gone well over the years. We've given them players like Robin van Persie, and they've given us players like Danny Welbeck and Mikel Sylvester. So if we're going to get a goalkeeper from United, we've probably got more chance of getting one of their youth goalkeepers than we do Dean Henderson. He's a great player. Do not get me wrong. I just don't see it happening because of that United factor. They'd give us Dean Henderson and they'd probably want a Aubameyang in return because it's Manchester United and Arsenal. Do you get what I mean?
Nah, definitely. I do agree. You know what? Let's leave that one. I don't even want to hear United.
Listen, that's painful as well. But again, down in the comments, guys, what would you do in this goalkeeper situation? Would you sign someone to replace Bernd Leno for the next year? Or would you stick with Martinez and sign another backup or keep Matt Macy? There was a few questions there. So if you want to let us know your opinions down in the comments, that would be much appreciated. Moving on now, we have the tiniest bit of transfer news. And this is not confirmed. Well, I think you said that the Flamengo president himself said the deal is done. They're just waiting on the cash.
Vice President.
But Pablo Mari has agreed to join Arsenal on a permanent deal for the fee of £14 million. Now, that is the tiniest bit more than I expected. I thought the deal itself was an initial £4 million loan with an extra £8 million on top, taking it up to 12 million. But we've had to pay an extra 2 million for some reason. Don't know why, but it's only 2 million. So it doesn't really matter. But Yash, how happy are you with this deal, man?
You know what? 2 clean sheets in 3 games. Watched him against City. I remember that clattering tackle into Sterling, and I thought, Jesus Christ, when was the last time we had a really aggressive, commanding centre-back there? You know, we're going to need some time with him. He does seem a little bit injury-prone, which is a bit worrying at the moment. But he does look like he could be a very good player for Arsenal. He looks like, you know, he's one of those players who's going to get the scruff in the neck. Could he be our Sergio Ramos, you know? Spanish, it could happen.
I don't know about Sergio Ramos.
I think the extra couple £1 million came from a signing fee, because from what the deal looked like, it was that 5 million loan, 3 million signing, and then 8 million euros in bonuses.
Right. Okay. I understand what you mean, man. But the thing is, yes, he's only played 3. Well, he's not even played 3 full games for the club. He played the game against Portsmouth, played a game against West Ham, and then he played some of the game versus Man City before he got injured. He looks like a good centre back. Don't get me wrong, but he's out till November. And what I think is a good thing on the counter to that, the fact that he's injured, is if he doesn't end up doing well after this injury, it's only £14 million. It's not the end of the world. I know when it comes to money, Arsenal act all cheap and think this is, and make fans think it will be the end of the world for spending £14 million on a defender that doesn't work. But it's not the end of the world. So I think it's a really good deal overall.
Exactly. And with Saliba coming in as well, it doesn't... See, centre-back-wise, David Luiz's option to extend expires today. Saliba's coming in. Marie, let's hope, fingers crossed, he does stay fit and is well after his injury as well.
Yeah.
We could have, a couple, 2-3 different good choices at centre-back going into next. But it's like you say, if he doesn't, it's not too big a loss. But I think for Arsenal's point of view is, are they going to be able to recoup that money? And I don't think they will if he doesn't perform.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, man. It's interesting you talk about Saliba and David Luiz because speaking about the centre-backs in general, where do you think he fits into this Arsenal team? Is he a starting centre-back? Is he someone that's going to be in and out of the squad? Or is he just a backup player?
Are you talking about William Saliba?
No, Pablo Mari, sorry.
Pablo Mari.
Mm.
From what I've seen, I think he should be a starting centre-back. Just because from what we've seen with David Luiz, we know for sure he doesn't really suit a back four. He said he's best placed in the back three. He hasn't had the best of times for Arsenal. I'm not going to keep my head, stay cool. Hasn't had the best of times for Arsenal. Mustafi has done well since Arteta's come in.
Yep.
And I feel like those two did work together in those first few minutes against City as well. Before he went off injured, it looked like a good partnership going on there. Although Mustafi is very standoffish, at least we had almost like a sweeper keeper like in Pablo Mari just sweeping up the lines as well. So I think he should be a starter.
Okay, fair enough. And who would you say he could be partners with? Because like you say, it looks quite unlikely that David Luiz. I don't know actually, because there's been rumours that he is signing a new deal, but at the same time, it doesn't look like he should be signing a new deal. So I guess we'll find that in the next few days. But who would you have as his centre-back partner? And first of all, would you have him in a back four, a back three? And if it is two centre-backs or three centre-backs, how would you have that lineup sorted out?
I think, first of all, is Saliba left-footed or right-footed? I think he's left.
He may be. I'm not too sure.
Can I quickly check that?
Go for it, man.
In terms of with who I'd put next to Pablo Mari, I would put William Saliba. The reason being, he's been one of the best players out there, the best defender according to Wissam Ben Yedder as well in Liga. And as I mentioned before, Arteta has a very meticulous idea of what he wants his centre-backs to be. He wanted Pablo Mari to be left-footed so he can expand the pitch, put him on the left. Saliba's right-footed, it suits him to expand on the right too. Personally, for me, I want a back four still. I still do believe 4-3-3 is the best formation, the way to go. If it is a back three, and which honestly, I don't want it to happen, but if they do decide to
worst case,
David Luiz's deal, then I do say we give him a chance in the back three, because even just before we signed him, he did do well for Chelsea in a back three. And he is that sort of sweeping type of player, making those passes. We just haven't really seen that from him. You're wondering, where is it, you know? So for me, it's back four, Saliba and Mari. But if it's back three, Saliba, Mari, David Luiz.
Okay, fair enough. I want to take you back to that back four there. You said you wanted a partnership of William Saliba and Pablo Mari. The only problem I have with that is there's absolutely no minimal, because of Pablo Mari's free appearances. There's absolutely no Premier League experience between the two of them. So do you not consider that a little bit of a risk, or do you think that's sort of balanced out with the other centre-backs that we may still have at the club?
See, the reason I say that, and I probably should have explained, is I think Rob Holding will probably start off the season. To have him and Saliba, because Rob is left-footed as well.
Right, okay.
Saliba, right, would be good. And then that way, if you do get that back four starting good, you bring in Pablo Mari, and it will be competition, very good competition for Rob Holding's first of all.
Yeah.
But at least that way, Saliba will already be in his stride. And if it doesn't work with Mari, then at least we do know Rob Holding could possibly fill that role. Because he did look very good against Brighton. What I did see initially, straight off the bat, was against City, pinned back all of our defence. Against Brighton, the amount of times I saw Rob Holding breaking those lines, driving with the ball, that's what we were missing. So he's got the stuff to partner with Saliba. He's aggressive too.
Okay, fair enough, man. Well,
what about you? Who would you have?
Oh, right. Okay, so me. That's an interesting question. I am a massive fan of Socrates. So if I had to choose, because I'm not even going to get into a back three, because I really don't want us to have a back three. But if we was to have a back four, let's not worry about the fullbacks, because it's very obvious who our fullbacks should be. But I'm going to go for Pablo Mari. Again, like you said, fantastic player, left-footed. So he's great on that left-hand side centre-back role. And then I'd have Socrates. For me, Pablo, they're very hard-hitting centre-backs, the pair of them. So to have two no-nonsense centre-backs for me is what we need. It's all good having, just your regular centre-backs and your ball-playing defenders and stuff.
Yeah.
But we just need two hard-hitting, no-nonsense centre-backs, football manager terminology, guys, to just, if you've got someone like Jamie Vardy running at you, clatter him. If you've got someone like Sergio Aguero, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah running at you, clatter him. It's not a problem.
Tactical fouls, exactly.
Tactical fouls, says the tactical pundit. You get what I mean? But yeah, Socrates and Pablo Mari for me, man.
Nah, definitely, I do agree. I didn't really think about Socrates, to be honest with you. I still think the only thing I'd say about Socrates is how long do we rely on him, because he's very old now. If we do start him and he does do well, his form is going to dip, because he's literally approaching that age where it goes from there to there form-wise. Then we're going to be in a problem as to, right, we've probably only got that season out of him. Now who do we bring in? At least in that case, we have one centre-back now who's in his rhythm.
I do agree with what you're saying there, and that's why I think Arsenal benefits from having such a wide range of centre-back options. You know, we've got, depending on if he stays, David Luiz, Callum Chambers can also play there, Socrates, Mustafi, William Saliba will be there, Zach Medley can do a job if he needs to, Rob Holding. We've got at least 7 centre-backs that we know can perform at a good ability. Debatable for Zach Medley because he only had that brief spell, but we've got options.
Nah, definitely, I agree with you. There's decent amount of squad depth there. Maybe quality is a bit off, but at least a few players there can do that job.
Okay, guys, just to end things off, we're going to run through all of the Premier League games going up to next Tuesday, which obviously this podcast is being filmed on the Tuesday afternoon. So we're going a week not even in advance. We're going a week up from where we are now. Starting with, obviously this will not include Arsenal games. You have to wait to the previews to see the predictions for them. Starting off with Leicester versus Brighton today.
So, for me, I think it's 2-0 Leicester. We saw against Brighton, you can attack and Leicester and attack the team. I think they'll get those goals.
Okay, fair enough. As for a prediction from myself, Brighton are in hot form, obviously, after beating Arsenal, and I think it will be an interesting game. But Leicester City are Leicester City this season. I think we'll see Jamie Vardy get his 100th Premier League goal. I'm going to go Leicester 2, Brighton 1. Moving on, Spurs versus West Ham.
I hate to say it. I think Spurs are going to win 2-0.
It is painful, isn't it? Listen, well, obviously I'm an Arsenal fan, so I dislike Tottenham. And I'm from East London originally, so my whole family was West Ham. They used to try and banter me like they win trophies or something. But I still think that West Ham are going down. I still think that West Ham are getting relegated, and I'm going to love absolutely every single minute of it. So, as much as I am...
Don't love it too much. If you celebrate the Spurs goal,
I'm not going to... Listen, I think I'd rather jump from the second floor of this house, honestly. I'm going to go... Ouch.
I'm checking.
All right, cool, man. But yeah, as for a prediction... Sorry, that's funny. As for a prediction, I'm going to go Spurs 3, West Ham 1. Sorry, I am sorry. Moving on, though, we've got Manchester United versus Sheffield United.
2-0 United. Sheffield haven't had the best start since the return.
Do you know, that was, okay, straight to the point. Fair enough. I think this is going to be one of the shockers.
You know what else, actually? I was watching the Spurs game, and Pogba and Bruno in the second half, because that's where I started watching from. They did look good, you know. I think they can. They looked
really good. They did, man. But you know what? I think this is going to be one of the shocks of the season because, to be fair, I wouldn't even consider it a shock because Sheffield United have had a better season than Manchester United. It's just facts. You only got to look. Oh, I don't know about the league now, but it's
United
expected. Yeah, I think they're one place ahead, but you sort of expect United to be in that top 6, whereas Sheffield, you don't expect it at all. So I still believe that Sheffield have had the better season. And I think we're going to get the tiniest bit of an upset here. I think we're going to see 2-2. Sheffield picking up a point away at Old Trafford.
That could be. I'm trying to think. Would it be better for Arsenal if Sheffield won? I don't think so. I think the draw is what we need.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That also benefits us. Yeah, that also benefits us. So if it ends 2-2, I'd be more than happy. Moving on, Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Newcastle obviously played fantastically against Sheffield. So how do you think they're going to suit against Aston Villa?
I think they will do well. They beat Sheffield like 3-0, I think. So
3-0.
1-1.
Joelinton scored.
Huh?
Joelinton scored a goal. They must have done
exactly.
all right.
Long time. But I think 1-1. I think Villa's in a scrap at the moment down there at the bottom. So they're going to be pulling all the stunts.
Yeah, man, I understand what you mean. Like they said, like you just said, they're at a scrap at the bottom, but I just don't think they're going to be able to get it done. So for that reason, I'm going to go Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 1. Wolves versus Bournemouth.
So I said 3-1 Wolves. Terrific start since coming back. It's going to be interesting. I wonder if Ryan Fraser will grab that goal, just add a 0 onto
You
that
know what?
transfer.
You must not have seen it, man. He's not playing for Bournemouth anymore this season.
Is he not playing anymore?
He's
So
not
they've
playing
shut
for
him
Bournemouth.
out?
So they've shut him out completely. Eddie Howe, I was about to say Eddie Hearn there. Eddie Howe came out in a press conference and said he only wants players that want to play for Bournemouth in the squad. So there's no more Ryan Fraser. This is looking like a very weak Bournemouth side, and I think they're going to struggle to stay up.
Yeah, definitely. Just cue the links of flipping Fraser to Arsenal now, I'm telling you.
But as for a score prediction, what are you saying, man?
3-1 Wolves.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go Wolves 2, Bournemouth 0. I think this could potentially be, no, because City won their last game, but Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. And I think this is going to be an absolute landslide. I know Liverpool didn't do fantastically against Everton, but Liverpool are going to pull it up a gear in this game after such a disappointing result against Everton. I'm going no holds barred. Liverpool 4, Crystal Palace 0.
I went slightly the other way. I didn't say Palace win, but Palace won the last game. And I do think Liverpool I'm surprised by that Everton result. You thought it's Merseyside derby, they'd be on it. And Palace looked decent since coming back as well. I think 2-1 Liverpool. I think it could be a scrappy game.
Burnley versus Watford.
So I said 1-0 to Watford. Don't think Burnley's going to get it done.
Okay, fair enough. And I also said, I said Burnley 1, Watford 1. Another big game, Chelsea versus Manchester City.
2-1 City. I'm looking forward to this game. Not to spoil anyone, but it looks like it could be a good game.
No, I get what you mean, man. But I'm gonna go with something that would benefit us in the slightest as well. I'm gonna go Chelsea 2, Man City 2. Aston Villa versus Wolves.
Wolves?
Oh, yeah, Aston Villa versus Wolves. This is next game week now.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm going to say 2-1 to Wolves. As we said before, Villa in the scrap, but I think Wolves a bit too much.
Okay, fair enough. I actually said as well, Aston Villa are not going to get it done. Wolves 3, Aston Villa 1. Watford versus Southampton.
Watford 2-0 against Southampton. Especially if we beat them, form's going down. I'm sorry, but
yeah, man.
They need to pull out the stuff.
Yeah, I do actually think that Southampton are going to get the result here. I'm going to go Watford 1, Southampton 2. Final 2 games now. Crystal Palace versus Burnley.
Oh, that's a tasty game. I think 1-1. I think that could be a very, very down and order fight.
Okay, fair enough. I actually think Burnley ain't going to be able to recover from that result against City this season. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 0. And then to end things off, Brighton versus Manchester United.
3-1 Manchester United.
You've got it bang on with what I predicted as well. So that is the end of the Premier League predictions up to next Tuesday, of course. Yes, that's the end, man.
It's been a good podcast.
Yeah,
as usual.
As usual, if I do say so myself. But yes, like I said, this is the end of the 4th episode of the Cannon Talks podcast. But like I said, guys, this is the end of the Cannon Talks podcast, the 4th episode. If you did like it, make sure to leave a like. Also, subscribe to Cannon Talks and turn on post notifications to be alerted when we upload our videos. Make sure to check out. I've got to do it this way now. I've got to do it this way now because I saw it on the last one. Make sure to check out Yash's channel, Make sure to check out Yash's YouTube channel, The Tactical Pundit, as well. Fantastic channel, Yash. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do on this one. I have been Frank. He has been Yash. I will see you guys soon. Peace. There you go.
Hey, if only Arsenal could replicate the form.